Cholangiocarcinoma is in fact a cancer of the bile ducts.
Your bile duct is sort of like the pipe in your kitchen sink, the drain of your kitchen sink. The liver that's processing all the toxins in the body has to get rid of them somehow. And the way that it does that is by dumping them into bile, which is like Drano or some liquid that would dissolve all of these toxins.
The liver has thousands of bile ducts which act as a conduit to drain the bile from the liver to the intestine. And like any other organ in the body, the bile ducts can develop cancer as well. There are different types of cholangiocarcinoma. Cholangiocarcinoma that occurs in the liver called intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma, and there is another kind which presents outside the liver, bile ducts that drain outside the liver, called as extrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma.
Patients with intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma, I have to say that very often the symptoms can be either very vague or none at all.
A lot of times patients present with jaundice because this drainage pipe is clogged. There's cancer cells in there. Imagine some buildup in your kitchen sink. You can't do anything. You feel tired, you get itchy, because all of these toxins are accumulating and they're trying to get out somehow. So the urine is darker. The skin becomes more yellow because the body's trying to find a way to get rid of it. And those end up being typical symptoms.
But very often these things are found on a CT scan as a bit of an incidental finding or a surprise finding.
So often this disease gets treated as gallstones or hepatitis, and when patients present quite late.
And given the rarity of the cancer and how sick, unfortunately, these patients are, doing studies has not been easy.
Cholangiocarcinoma is sometimes described as an orphan disease because of its relative infrequency. There's about 5,000 to 6,000 patients diagnosed every year. Contrast them to several 100,000 diagnosed with colon cancer and lung cancer. So research in this cancer has lagged behind the other cancers. Awareness is lacking.
There is no standard screening test at the moment for cholangiocarcinoma, and I think there are groups that are working on that. And the difficulty there is defining who is at risk.
Treatment depends on the stage. If it is diagnosed early, surgery is the treatment of choice.
Often patients are diagnosed at a stage where an operation isn't possible, either it's too advanced or people are not fit for that.
Sometimes after surgery, chemotherapy and radiation are given in order to decrease the chances of recurrence. The vast majority of patients, unfortunately, are diagnosed at an advanced stage when it's not operable, and they're treated with chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, clinical trials, targeted therapy, and so on.
I think we're now in an era where we're very much trying to look and see whether there are some additional treatment options that we can use at the various stages.
Constantly in the news, we're hearing about cures, something that we didn't hear of as much in the past. Unfortunately, rare cancers like bile duct cancer have lagged behind.
Advocacy groups like the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation and their counterparts within the UK and other parts of the world have done an amazing job in increasing awareness of this disease.
Not one of us can do the entire job. And so the more of us that concentrate and collaborate our efforts and focus on information sharing, getting the awareness, the education, the information, referring each other is how we're going to raise awareness to the community.
I would remain very positive, very optimistic. Would not have been any better times to be in cholangiocarcinoma and care for our patients than today.